Hey folks, thought I'd do a quick video to show off a little bit of Amazon Bedrock. Gen AI has been in all of the news over the last year, and I want to get beyond the hype and talk about the tool sets a little bit in easily digestible little bits. So in this demo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate the Gen AI text and chat playground in Amazon Bedrock. We will activate a couple foundation models. We'll send some text to them. Then we'll talk a little bit about how much it costs to use them. We'll talk a little bit about pricing. So I am in the AWS Management Console here. I've logged into one of my accounts, and I am in the Oregon region here in the United States. And I'm going to look for Amazon Bedrock. I always use the search feature up here in the top right-hand corner. Amazon having over 200 services in the management console, easiest way to find things. All right, so now I have the Amazon Bedrock sort of welcome screen or landing page. Now you'll see there's a lot on the left-hand side here. Okay, we are going to focus in this little demo on the chat and text playground. But before we get there, the first thing that we're going to have to do are activate some models in our account. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here, and I'm going to go to Model Access. I'm going to click on this, and I can see that there are a variety of LLMs that are available. Lots and lots of models here, so over 48, or actually exactly 48. So I could enable specific models, I could enable all models. One thing that I want to mention is that when we use these models, this is not a free service. We're going to have to pay for them. And different models use different amounts of compute. So different models also have different pricing associated with them. I'm going to turn on all the models in this account. Let's make it nice and easy. Okay, I'll hit next. And by turning on these models and requesting access, I'm not increasing my charges in my account yet. Okay, I'm only going to pay for these models as I use them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get my head off of this here. I'll submit this request. And now we wait a moment. Great, and I should have some access granted. Great. Okay, so now let's play with an LLM. Okay, so let's go over here to Playgrounds, Chat and Text, and select a model to use. All right, so what model would we like to use? Well, Claude Anthropic is very popular these days. So let's go over here, and then we get to choose a model. Okay, so I've got some older models here. And here, as of today, the latest and greatest is Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Let's use this. And hit Apply. And now let's test this out. Now we have some settings on the left here for temperature, top P and top K. Those settings are going to, we'll talk more about those in the future, but those are going to set the diversity of the responses that we get. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just write a prompt here. I don't know, give me a recipe for chocolate muffins. Right, and I have a recipe for delicious chocolate muffins. Okay, I input 16. My output is 342. And I see my latency here. Why is that important? Well, if I'm using this text playground, or I'm just using Bedrock in general in what we call on-demand mode, we pay for the tokens input and the tokens output. Okay, so tokens are sort of you can think of them as being a word, punctuation, or a subword, portions of a word. So they are what the Gen AI is using. It is the count or metric that we're using. One of the really cool things about using uh, Bedrock is that I don't have to worry about hosting servers. I can build an application and just use it, and I can have an endpoint, and we'll look at this in another bit of Bedrock. We can look at the code we would use to build this as well, maybe with Python, but I don't have to worry about standing up a server fleet. I can use this as little or as much as I like. Now, if I have varying prices for models, I ought to check out the effectiveness of various models and compare them to each other. And that's one of the really cool things that we can do here with Bedrock. Okay, if I go up here to the top right, there is compare mode. Okay, so I'm going to proceed here. And so let's compare Claude 3.5 Sonnet to something that may be more cost effective, like the Amazon Nova Pro model. Okay, in this case, I can set my settings again. I mentioned the temperature, top P, response length. And let's write a prompt that we send now to both of these LLMs. Give me a list of 5 places to visit in Seattle, ranked by, I don't know, popularity. All right, and let's put these two head to head. Okay, so Nova Pro came back a little quicker. Gave me a little bit of formatting, which was sort of nice. But I've got the Space Needle, Pike's Place Market, Lily Garden and Glass, Museum of Pop Culture, and the Seattle Aquarium. All right, so cool. So I've got some different answers here. I mean, they're worded a little differently. I've got a little bit more detail here and got back some more output from Nova Pro. So for this use case, one may be better than the other. So in the news these days, I hear so much about, this Gen AI model or that Gen AI model, which foundation model is better. And I think that's going to be a constantly moving target, especially over the near future. The near future. Amazon Bedrock, think of it as the way we run these models. Choose from the leading models in the industry and run them without having to worry about building that server infrastructure or refreshing it when you change models. It's really sort of cool. Now, the way that we pay for Bedrock, let's go ahead and I'm going to move over to this page over here. It's aws.amazon.com/bedrock pricing. There's a page that talks about the pricing. And for this chat playground, I was using on-demand pricing. So I pay for what I use. There's no commitment. If I know that I am going to be doing large workloads or steady workloads, I can purchase provisioned throughput. And if I'm doing, asynchronous workloads, like maybe I'm summarizing large amounts of text, well, then I can do batch, which is even more cost effective. But as I mentioned, as we look at this, and there's a lot of tools and there's some different fees in here, but if we go into the pricing details of this page, we can look at that Anthropic Sonnet model that we just used, and we can see the price per 1,000 input tokens. And with chat, we're going to be paying for input and output tokens. And so I can see that my price per 1,000 input tokens is 0.003 cents. And for output tokens is 0.015. Now, if we compare that to the other model that we were comparing, I think we were using the Amazon Nova Pro, that's a little less expensive at 0.0008 cents per 1,000 input tokens and 0.0032 for 1,000 output tokens. So sort of cool. I wanted to show the pricing here because if you do what I just demoed in your account, there are charges. that's my little bit of Bedrock for the day. I thought I would show off a little bit on how you can get started using chat and text. If this interests you, let me know in the comments, and I can do more. We can do a demo of doing the same chat inference using a language now. And we could do this in Python, and we could show that off. AWS has free courses that go into prompt management. And these are available from AWS Skill Builder. My favorite course of the moment is AWS Flash Exploring Amazon Nova Models using Amazon Bedrock. This is a free course. If you use this URL right here, this bit.ly URL, I'm pointing at, channeling my inner weatherman, you can go ahead and sign up for this course and learn about the Amazon Nova models.